that is that is Smart24 TV Space Live. Remember to hit the subscription button. Give us those views and the shares as well. And we are also live on Facebook now. That is on Facebook Live at Smart24 TV. Facebook Live / Smart24 TV. And that is www.facebook.live / Smart24 TV. And you can also follow us. That is on Facebook still. It's Smart24 TV UG and Smart24 TV on Twitter as well. Now, Jerome Bosong on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, okay. The thing is, the Kampala City Traders Association, Kacita, the governing association, or the body that actually converges all the city traders all together, launched a partnership, a business partnership, with one of the banks in Uganda, which is Stanbicbank Uganda, to reshape traders' shortcomings. So if you look at the situation of reshaping traders' shortcomings, what do we talk about here? The traders' shortcomings are, let's say, the risks that are attached to the businesses, losses of the businesses when someone actually gets an accident. Let's say your business actually loses out. Let's also focus on the issue of, let's also look at the incident where a trader who has actually been hit hard by COVID-19, more so because of the situation. When you look at the situation in Uganda for the last 18 months or so, or for the last 2 years, most of the traders, if you could look at the medium-sized enterprises, look at the low-income earners out there, have been the traders. And these traders that we have are most probably those who have actually been making their ends meet out of it. And the launch is that actually happened in Kampala was based on creating an opportunity for these traders by setting up financial assistance to support them promote their businesses. How? If a trader wants to apply for a loan, now there is a bank for them to go and apply for this loan under the Kacita, that is under the Kampala City Traders Association. Now, why Kacita actually came up with this partnership is actually taken time since March this very year, before the late Everest Kayondo actually passed on due to COVID-19 or succumbed to COVID-19. It was in process to see that the traders remain active in business, because in most cases, most of them have actually found a number of losses. They cannot meet their debts, they cannot meet the taxes they're supposed to pay to the government. And in the same way, if they have an opportunity to get financial assistance by going out to Stanbicbank to actually apply for a loan, it is evident here that it will actually help them boost. And this only comes in a situation where they will be having a low interest rate of 15%, it being they are traders. And this only applies to the traders. This partnership only applies to the traders under Kacita, under the Kampala City Traders Association. And this means that all those traders will have to open up accounts from the same bank to actually access these services and be put into the same partnership or in line with the same partnership. Now, the launch happened in Kampala and was based on creating an opportunity for the traders by setting up financial assistance to support them and also promoting their businesses. Now, this creates an opportunity for the traders to have easy access to loans from Stanbicbank. Now, meanwhile, the CEO of Stanbicbank, and Juko, says that the country was greatly impacted by COVID-19, and COVID-19 also hit the banking sector so hard. It hit those in the corporate world as much as it hit those in the world of the medium-sized enterprises. And in this situation, if you look at most of the key sectors, most of the traders, all the small and medium-sized enterprises have actually been hit strongly hard. And according to the situation, most of the sectors were left indebted. Most of them have loans that they have not yet even finished to pay off. And according to this partnership, Stanbicbank will work with traders to grow their businesses to serve more and more Ugandans. Now, if you look at the situation, the State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, actually assured the traders that the government is going to put in place 200 million Ugandan shillings as a recovery fund for the SMEs. Something that has actually been ongoing. I mean, this started way back from the 2020 situation where the government has actually been promising these people recovery funds a recovery fund, a stimulus package to promote their businesses, to make sure they remain relevant in their businesses. But one may ask, since then, what has happened? It is still in a situation where all these traders are still waiting for the recovery fund and it's not coming. So the minister here assured them that 200 billion Uganda shillings is there for them as a recovery fund. And still, we wait to see whether it will actually be available or active. Now, if you look at the situation, the government is to put in place 200 billion shillings as a recovery fund. And the minister urged the traders to resort to manufacturing, as this will mean that the country will have more exports than imports. Because according to the minister, he said it is so shocking that for a country, we're importing a lot of products, which is not good for the growth of our economy, because the products we are importing outbeat the products that we export out of the country. So we import a lot of products. And the way he actually put it in is that most of these traders who are under Kacita, or most of the small and medium-sized enterprises, are the same people who actually import lots of these products, let's say from Asia down to other European markets as well. So saying that if we can actually promote our exports by manufacturing more and more, because he actually said the government has also secured land in Namave, which is going to help the traders here to have industries to manufacture their own products where they will sell to most of the Ugandans. And this is going to ease tax collection, not only tax collection, and give room for the employment opportunities of the young people. And if you look at the situation here, is that Uganda's import tax bill from the international trade is 6 trillion shillings, and China is representing 24% of the imports. And that's why Stanbicbank set up the Africa-China banking proposition to connect the African clients to the China trade. Now, during the same conference, apparently, we had representatives from China and others from the sector of Asia. And as a way of actually setting up the Africa, because there is the Africa-China banking proposition by Stanbicbank, which has been available since for quite some time now, and they are trying to push it and try to bring in the traders under Kacita to actually also utilize this, because according to Stanbicbank, they realize that most of the Ugandans or most of the traders are actually importing products from China or from Asia, and most probably from China, because China has 24% of the imports, or gets the lion's share of the imports from the foreign markets, and from a single country to have 24%, which clearly shows you that that is a lot of money. And if you look at the import tax bill from international trade is 6 trillion Ugandan shillings, and China is representing 24% of these imports. Now, this is a way of actually helping these particular traders to have market in China, and they can easily get markets, or they can easily get products from China. In this way, helping them through the logistics process, because it takes a long time. Reason being, now it is hard for traders to actually travel to China because of the travel restrictions, and it's actually hard to import things now in China. So this is why they're trying to create an opportunity for the traders to do so. I was actually interacting with the CEO, Kacita, and that is Mr. Abe Musinje, and he put me in a situation where he said, for the last week he was in Dubai and trying to actually mitigate with the government, some of the investors, as well as some of the traders abroad, to see that the traders here in Uganda can benefit, and creating a simple route or simple avenues for how Ugandans can actually import these products with few taxes imposed on them, to see that they can actually come back to a standstill, or so that they can actually come back and sustain their businesses as well, because they've actually been hit hard by the pandemic. And you could actually say, if such opportunities come for them, it will be coming in at an opportune time for them to boost their sectors and help them try as much as they can to promote their businesses. Now, this actually comes in after the Kampala City Traders Association and Stanbicbank launched a business partnership aiming at reshaping traders' shortcomings through acquiring loans at a low interest rate. Let's have a look at this story. I'm going to be right back.
This journey began as early as March of this year. There were prior engagements before that, but The launch meeting happened actually here at the Sheraton. We didn't have that many power cuts in that particular meeting, but we met with the board, we met with Abel, the chief executive, and had deliberations on how best can we collaborate to support the trader community out of this situation that we found ourselves in, that is the pandemic. I think all of us can agree that the last 18 months or so have hit our trader community harder than most sectors. Kacita is not only looking after Kampala, it's cutting across the entire country, and we believed as an organization that this is the perfect partnership to bring solutions to the challenges that our traders were facing. I mean, you can't get into China right now, even if you tried. You can't bring in goods. Even when you bring in goods, traders were struggling to pay the taxes, being hit with all kinds of damage fees and charges. We understand the working capital gaps that were created by the pandemic, the losses that traders were facing with the lending, the general cost of banking being expensive. And this partnership is going to start in one place and then end up in an entirely different place altogether. And the way that will happen is by continuous learning.
The launch that happened in Kampala was based on creating an opportunity for traders by setting up financial assistance to support them and also promoting their businesses. This creates an opportunity for the traders to have easy access loans from Stanbicbank.
That our businesses require total facilitation and recapitalization to facilitate business recovery because of several challenges like rent arrears, loan arrears, low sales, and several trade restrictions and entry, which affect commerce with our partners, like in Asian countries. However, Kacita Uganda believes there is still hope for the business community to strive. I believe this partnership, being timely, will help many of our members to boost their businesses, which I believe is a great milestone for the trade and commerce sector. The Africa-China initiative aims at facilitating imports and exports between Asian countries and Uganda, improving standards, tax compliance, and financial restitution, with the aim of transforming medium and small-sized enterprise sector in Uganda. I want to thank Stanbicbank for its excellent and innovative services, which I believe will benefit our members and contribute to Uganda's economic growth. I call upon the business community to fully utilize Stanbicbank services to build our capacity and develop our businesses.
Meanwhile, Ann Juko, the CEO of Stanbicbank, says the country was greatly impacted by COVID-19, which left most of the sectors indebted, and Stanbic will work with traders to grow their businesses to serve more Ugandans.
We know that we can build back better. And this conversation here is the start of building back better. We know that you're sitting on bad loans. We know your businesses were impacted. We know that the traffic downtown is not what it used to be. But those are the challenges we face. And the question before us is, how do we build back better? How do we build back a business that is more resilient? Because we've now learned that what we take for granted today may not happen tomorrow. Things like insurance, they are real and important to your business. Creating resilience in your business is something we are going to work with you on. That you must have reserves at any one time. That you must have a plan B and plan C, because COVID has taught us that things change, and sometimes they change drastically when we are not prepared. So we as Stanbic make you a promise that we will work with you to build better, and that we will work with you to make sure that your businesses are more resilient, more relevant, and serve more Ugandans. Because we are critically aware of the role you play.
David Bahati, the State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, assured the traders that the government is going to put in place 200 billion shillings as a recovery fund to help the SMEs and urge the traders to resort to manufacturing, as this will mean that the country will have more exports than imports. This will in turn give room for employment opportunities and ease tax collections.
We have put in place 200 billion Uganda shillings to help businesses recover from the effects of COVID-19. And we are working out the guidelines. We shall be working with you, the commercial banks, so that we can support these local businesses. But at the end of the day, this will be in the short run. In the long run, we want you, Kacita, to turn from being importers to manufacturers. That is the long run strategy for government. As we speak now, I was just looking at the figures from URA. We are importing goods worth 4 billion Uganda shillings from China alone. 4 billion. We want at least out of that 4 billion, let us manufacture our goods from here, worth 3 billion. And it will do wonders in terms of creating jobs and also paying taxes. We know that you had requested His Excellency the President for a land to put up an industrial park for you to start manufacturing. Please get out of the mentality of import into import substitution through manufacturing. The real problem is Uganda now imports 7 billion worth of goods every year, and then we export for 5 billion US dollars. So there is a deficit of 2 billion. And the 7 billion that we import, if we had invested it here in terms of factories, we would be building a base for jobs for our children and the young people of Uganda, and also making more money in terms of revenue.
Okay, now, David Bahati, the State Minister for Trade, says we need to be more of manufacturers than importers. So because when you become a manufacturer, you export. And if you look at the import substitution situation, it's actually not a good one for Uganda. And the situation here is, why do we over-import a lot of things? And if you look at what we export, is absolutely less. It's an overwhelming number when it comes to figures. You know, numbers never lie. But I would suggest, like he has actually urged there, is we need to promote the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda policy. That has actually been there for quite some time. But how are you going to promote it? Now, on this event, we had some other key sectors, key players in the sector. We had the private sector representative from Tanzania. We had a representative from the port borders. That is the ports, the different ports at in East African ports. That is Mombasa, Tanzania. That was mainly from Dar es Salaam, who was also there. We also had a representative from the Uganda Airlines, Ms. Dori Nambatia. She was actually taking part in the same conference. As a situation of seeing that these traders, all these are key players in making sure that they mitigate opportunities for the traders in Uganda and those in China. Because if you look at the situation of trying to see that the traders are importing products from Asia, it is easier to actually import from Asia if the government is also supporting them, and also they have some assistance from a financial institution. But now, again, to Honorable Minister Bahati, says it is good to import, but again, we should remember exporting is more important for the country as well, because we are going to get more money out of the exports than we get out of the imports. All right, now that brings us to the end of our topical discussion. I will be back with the news hour. Keep it smart, means business.